Welcome to the Stress Outlet. My name is Dr. Kimberly Quinn, and Giovanni and I are up here at Bear Paw Pond again. We've been going back and forth between our regular spot where the bears are, but we stay way low. We're not going way back up there. And over here, which is not anywhere near the other spot. But it's also just a change, just a shift. So here's the thing. We've been talking about nipping it in the bud, pessimism being or complaining leading being a straight road to pessimism, which can become a really strong habit, actually an addiction. We can become addicted to our emotions. Before long, you're living the pessimistic lifestyle and identifying as a pessimist, even if you don't want to say it out loud. It's not a favorable thing to say, so you probably wouldn't, but that's how it works. So here's the good news, is you can choose to be an optimist. Optimism is a choice, and it's also a lifestyle, which means someone who's choosing to live the optimistic lifestyle also has a bad hour, a bad minute, a bad hour, a bad day, maybe even a rough week, but during that week, they're actively choosing to seek out the positive. We now know that optimism can be learned. You know, way back when people thought, I don't know what they thought because I wasn't there, but it seems that it was a general consensus that it was all genetics, and genetics are strong, don't get me wrong. The cards were dealt. We really can't dismiss those when we're dealing with humans and actually non-human animals because genetics are strong. But here's the thing. The good news is, actually, I was just reading an article on this on the airplane someplace. Anyway, that people used to think we couldn't change our personalities. Not true anymore. Now, is that a little bit more of an uphill lift than, switching from sugar Pepsi to Diet Pepsi because you're having a sugar issue? Yeah, it's harder. Of course it is. We can do it, though. We can decide that we want to create the new us, and we can do it. But here's the thing. I'm going to stay on track here. As far as optimism, there is no such thing as a happiness fairy. There's no such thing as happiness pixie dust, where we're sleeping and the happiness fairy comes and sprinkles us on it, sprinkles happy dust on us, optimism dust on us, and then we're all set. That's not how it works. It's a choice every day. It's a choice every single day that we make. And these micro choices add up to macro choices. Choosing to live one day as optimistically as possible. Okay, and then we start the next day, one day at a time. I love that about the 12-step programs. Because we think, I'm going to be optimistic now, and it seems like this forever trail. It seems like this big, heavy lift, that like it's Mount Everest. That's not going to be as efficient, may not even work at all. Because one day at a time is the ticket, or a half day at a time. Or if you catch yourself sliding down the negative trail, say, from now for the next hour, I'm going to be, look for the positive in things.